By now you've probably heard that Facebook is scrambling to contain the fallout over a data privacy scandal. Mark Zuckerberg finally addressed the story on Wednesday, but only after a Delete Facebook campaign had started to gain momentum around the world.
So this was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened. We have a basic responsibility to protect people's data, and if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to have the opportunity to serve people.
So how did we get here, and how does Facebook recover? Well, first of all, let's figure out what happened. So on March 16th, the New York Times and The Guardian reported that a data mining firm named Cambridge Analytica, which had worked on Donald Trump's presidential campaign, had improperly obtained access to more than 50 million user profiles. Experts believe the firm could have used that data to gain an unfair advantage in targeting voters. Mark Zuckerberg didn't say anything about these stories for 5 days, and then on Wednesday, he wrote a Facebook post and gave an interview to CNN.
I'm going to challenge you.
We're here now.
I'm going to challenge you. Have you done it?
And we're going to make sure that we do a good job at it.
Have you done a good enough job yet?
Well, I think we will see.
This scandal is extremely weird because we've known the basic details that Cambridge Analytica got access to these profiles for more than 2 years. It's not clear that the data they obtained was really all that useful to them, and the number of profiles that they supposedly obtained, 50 million, that might turn out to just be marketing hype from Cambridge Analytica. Despite all that, this is the biggest public relations crisis Facebook has faced since the aftermath of the 2016 election. Senators are calling on Zuckerberg to testify, the Federal Trade Commission is investigating, British authorities are investigating, and Facebook's stock price has been declining. So let's look what happened. The story starts in 2014. That's when a University of Cambridge researcher named Alexander Kogan created an app called This Is Your Digital Life. About 270,000 people downloaded it, gave away their information, and Kogan, unbeknownst to them, passed along that information to a data mining and political strategy firm named Cambridge Analytica. At the time, Facebook's platform API let developers like Kogan access information about your friends as well as yourself. Christopher Wiley, who used to work at Cambridge Analytica, told The Times and The Guardian that that was how his company was able to get access to information of as many as 50 million people. And the idea was that by gleaning your Facebook likes, the company could begin to understand your personality and then more effectively target political advertising at you. This kind of thing is known as psychographic profiling. Experts say it can be useful at the margins in persuading voters, but at the same time they say its effect can be easily overstated. Granted, Trump's campaign wasn't the first to gain information about potential supporters using Facebook. In fact, in 2012, President Obama's election team had created an app and done a very similar thing. But there was a big difference. President Obama's team told voters what it was doing. Cambridge Analytica obtained this information in total violation of Facebook's rules and didn't tell anybody who was taking Kogan's personality quiz that their data would eventually be used for political advertising targeting. The Guardian revealed the scheme in 2015. Facebook went to Kogan and Cambridge Analytica and demanded that they delete all of the data that they had obtained in violation of Facebook's rules. But the reports say that in reality, Cambridge Analytica and Kogan never deleted the data, and Facebook never investigated to see whether they had deleted the data as promised. This gets to the heart of why some people are deleting their Facebook accounts right now. Facebook made it too easy for developers like Kogan to get access to their data, to their friends' data, and to share it. And it never informed people that their data had been improperly used. The scandal also came at a time when trust in Facebook has never been lower. In the aftermath of the 2016 election, we saw how obviously fake stories could spread faster and more persuasively than many true ones. And we learned that Kremlin-linked groups had waged a highly effective misinformation campaign on the platform, in some cases even illegally buying ads. Meanwhile, new research was coming out showing that just browsing the news feed could make you feel worse about yourself, and a group of former Facebook executives came forward and expressed regret about their part in building the social network to begin with. In short, public perception of Facebook had become a tinderbox. Not that Tinder. But the Cambridge Analytica story was the spark that turned it into a bonfire. After a long delay, Zuckerberg announced plans to address abuses like Cambridge Analytica's. In 2014, Facebook had already stopped developers from gaining access to information about your friends. Now it's going a step further. If you go 3 months without using an app, Facebook is going to cut off developer access to any information about you. And for developers that did have access to all that information, including information about your friends way back in 2014, Facebook is going to demand that they submit to an audit or be kicked off the platform. So will this fix the problem? On one hand, it's a start. Restricting developer access to your data could help Facebook start to rebuild some trust. But the larger issue for Zuckerberg is that he's really confronting 3 crises at once. There's the data privacy issue that the Cambridge Analytica story reveals. There's the newsfeed integrity issue and whether we can trust what we see on Facebook. And there's the broader cultural reckoning over social media, how we spend our time there, and whether it's ultimately good for us and the world. In January, Zuckerberg said that fixing Facebook's platform would be his personal challenge for the year. And yet, as he wades into this latest crisis 5 days after it began, it's not clear Facebook is doing everything it can to address it. And as a delete Facebook campaign starts gaining steam around the world, the challenge of fixing Facebook's platform feels greater than ever.
Wow. So this was quite a lot. This was quite a lot. Please, did we get anything from there? Did we get any points from the video? Could we share?
Yes, I did got some. We're trying to understand what's at the heart of the controversy and the scandal, you know, and even the questions that this guy posed at the end, especially the question of trust, because it's one thing to then put in system places that rectify the previous loopholes and anomalies. And it's another thing to then redeem the trust that has been lost through the breach of privacy and, So that's my takeaway from there.
So we have 2 other people in class. Do any other person wish to say something?
Yes, my takeaway from
Okay.
my takeaway from the video is that, it seemed that the people are comparing the Obama campaign and Donald Trump campaign. But despite that, I think Donald Trump campaign was someone just used to take the data of the people without informing, they were not informed where the data can be used with the name of the person that they were trying to be voting for. So that was the question that was raised by a number of the people, because the people was not informed that, yes, the reason why your data was taken or just to say that, yes, you vote for someone else, and then because of, like, they were not informed. Their data was collected from somewhere, they don't know. So that's why at the end they were only finding the figure, say that this number of the people was voted for Mr. X. But those people, they don't know that they were voting for this one. So this is my understanding from the video.
Yeah, fine. And to me personally, I got a very big lesson from there. When on social media or on any other platform, I think I have to be very careful when clicking or giving my information to any ad, because you never can tell why my information is being collected and what it will be used. It may sound juicy. I'm a gamer, I love games. So probably when installing some of those games, if they're asking for my private information and a lot of details that I personally know is not related to that, I shouldn't give it out. Because who knows? Someone may have created that just to use it to gather my information to be used elsewhere. So this also should help to shaping our own memory and turn us into data security experts. That would be in a very good position to organize seminars and raise papers and bring up very good discussions, intelligent discussion that has to do with data. Data right now is king. Data is the new gold. No more oil and gold. Data is the new gold. Whoever has access to data has access to wealth. Just a few days back, there's an AI called Claude. Do any of you use Claude? Claude AI.
No, I've never used that.
Okay. I think you should try it out. It's far in my own opinion, it's far better than ChatGPT. So a few days ago, Claude AI, their codes were released mistakenly by a staff. About 500,000 lines of code. Just for some few minutes, people feasted on it. Imagine the kind of data that could be gotten from that and the effects it would have. Imagine that. So we have to be very, very much data conscious. What do we take away from here? Data ethics is applied philosophy actually, grounded in the three different frameworks which we saw. That's the Unitarianism, the deontology, and the virtue ethics, but with urgent real-world stake. We talked about 4 pillars: privacy, fairness, accountability, and transparency should always form a decision when working with data. Ethics must be embedded at every stage of the live data cycle. Remember the various stages from data collection up to data deletion. Real harm results from unethical data practices. We have looked at the case study. As data professionals, we carry ethical obligations that go beyond compliance and legal minimums. That is our takeaway from this class. Before we ask questions, like I've already introduced, we have several activities to keep us busy during the week. There are some texts I've uploaded on your portal for you to read. There is a case study, which is the video, and you have to watch the video again. After that, you now attempt the discussional forum. Most importantly, what I'm very interested in is the reflective journal that has to do with what comes from your mind, your own view about the question I posted there. It should still be submitted on the LMS. Then finally, the quiz. And before we go into question time, you should be aware that the video is recorded. Did I ask for our consent before recording this video? I just informed us.
No, you didn't.
Okay, I did it.
I suppose you're not going to share it.
Okay. So I've already followed victim of one of the data laws. So I only informed us that I was setting up to record, though I didn't get any dissenting voice, but in a law court, I think you are going to win because because ignorance is not an excuse. So please, I'll seek your permission as a school policy. As a school policy, I don't know if it was signed anywhere, but I was informed that as a school policy, this is a virtual school. So I was informed that we have to record all the lectures, and so that those that didn't join the class could always go back to watch it, and you should also watch it for understanding. But what we'll be doing, since we're in data, school policy is on one side. Before we start every record, I would ask for our consent. The reason is this: some of you may not want to appear on record. So if you won't appear on record, at that point, you may decide to opt out of the class and decide to probably watch the recorded video. So that, like I called out some friends now, open up your webcam. Maybe you don't want to show, because believe you me, the class videos would be on YouTube so that people could watch it. So I'll be asking for a consent every class in my own course so that we practicalize what we are teaching. Is that fine by us?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. So could we have some questions? Does anyone have questions for the class?
Sorry. Good evening
Good evening.
or good afternoon, depending on your location. So my question is on the Cambridge Analytical story. The kind of data that was mined is really not clear in terms of the video and also the presentation. The video kind of explains that some techniques were used to mine information. So I'm just trying to understand, is it that they got like their names, their phone numbers, or these are just, will I say, personality, like, okay, male, female, location, where you live, and then some of those data, how do they classify as sensitive? I think the first thing will be understanding the nature of the data. And then now, because if we're speaking to like personality factors, say, okay, are you male, female? Where do you live? Are those really very sensitive data? If it is not, so for example, if my address, I'm not giving you exact details of my address, I'm just saying, okay, I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Is that really a sensitive information for me?
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe I would call on Abel. I think you were with us from the very first beginning when we talked about how we classify if data is sensitive or not sensitive, maybe relating it to the Cambridge. Could you attempt to answer a question, Abel?
Okay, thank you. Let me attempt. Um, mm, I will try to answer in the context of the Cambridge Analytica that one of the things that became clear to me in terms of the violations had nothing to do with sensitivity or sensitive information shared, but it had to do with privacy violations and purpose limitations, where data that was collected on an app about, I don't know if it was about games, was then some people was given to a third part access to a third part that then went on to use it allegedly for political campaigns. So it may not have been sensitive information like your name, but they're using your data without informed consent and for purposes for which that data was not collected. So that's my thinking. I don't think there are issues to do with sensitive information shared. I don't know if I got that correct, Doc.
Yeah, that's perfect. So if we recall, we talked about the 4 core pillars of data. So that the 4 core pillars of data, under privacy, we talked about data collection should be minimal, purposeful, and consensual. Then lastly, we talked about transparency, which is very key. The logic of data system should be explainable to those affected and not hidden under any cloak or under any box. So what did we mean by that? We meant that, please, are you still here? Oluwa, please, are you still here?
You can call me Dunsi. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Tosi. Okay,
Dunsi.
Dunsi. Okay. So what you mean is this. When you are collecting data, you must be very transparent on why that data is being collected, and it must be minimal. I gave an instance whereby we are in class and I needed to pull up a survey on my performance during this lecture. And the survey just had to do with you rating maybe my method of teaching, my maybe fluency, maybe application of real life examples. I just needed that survey. In that survey, I don't actually need your name. I don't need your address. I don't need your gender. It's just a survey to evaluate my method of teaching to help me to improve. If I don't need it, why add it to the survey form? Data collection must be as minimal as possible. Now, if I say, okay, I need to get your feedback so that I could attend to each student based on a particular need. At that point, I put in your first name, your surname, email address, and phone number. I don't need to put your location and your country at that point in time because it is not needed for the intended purpose. If I happen to put it, I have violated the principle of privacy that has to say that data collection must be minimal and purposeful. But if I must put it, I must, and we also said earlier that when putting up any survey form as data ethical specialists, there must always be a consent form and a disclaimer explaining what the data would be used for and what it won't be used for. Cambridge Analytica, they simply produce a game, which was like a quiz. In feeling that you're playing a game for God's sake, so you need your name, probably your email and all of that. But in playing that game, in filling the form before you're onboarded to the game, you ask for your state of residence, your county, your address, your zip code, probably your preference as per are you Hispanic, are you Latin, are you this, are you that, just to partake in a quiz. They didn't follow the principle of transparency in explaining that your information will be shared to third-party systems for so and so use. It was not shared. Now, what did they do? From those data, it was now shared to politicians that are coming up for election. What do the politicians simply need? Give me the email addresses or phone numbers of people in Las Vegas and in Texas. I want to send bulk SMS. That was us it. And that alone has violated a very important principle, which we said our key lesson is this: consent without clarity is not consent. You put a checkbox for people to tick, I agree to supplying this information. But you heeded the fact that your information being supplied will not just be used for this quiz, but will be used for some other purposes. And that was why it became an ethical violation. Please don't say, is it clear now?
Yes, it is. Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
okay, thank you. Please, any other question? Okay, so in the absence of other questions, please remember we have several tasks on the LMS. There are two materials you have to read. I uploaded a PDF there already. You have to review this video. I put in two other videos relating to the Cambridge Analytica's case. When you review it, you go to this discussional forum and air your view and respond to at least two classmates. Respond to at least two classmates, their own view on that case. Finally, you go to the reflective journal. The question is posted there on the system already. It's a journal, a personal journal. Then you also take the quiz. That will end our week one. And all of these have a deadline of 11:59 p.m. Please, I can be reached via email. My email address is already on the Google Classroom. I could be reached via email for probably you need a one-on-one assistance or clarity. You could always reach me via email to schedule a session, and I would always be available so far the timing is right for both of us. So thank you very much. Like I said, for those of you that just joined us, I'm Dr. Daniel, a specialist in cybersecurity, in data privacy security, and I'm also heavily into health. I have dual MSc degrees in IT and in health, dual PhD degrees in health and in IT. I'm Africa's number 4 internet working expert and number 1 in Nigeria. So I'm quite into a lot of things. So in any of those areas, we could always speak on it. So thank you very much. And the videos of the lectures, I'll drop the links on the group by today, tomorrow. Thank you. And have a lovely day. Thank you very much.